So a while back, Go Powersport sent out this rear swing arm kit for the Mega Moto 80-105. And it's a really cool kit. And then I did the monoshock stretch with the Mega Moto 80-105, and I really like the way this bike rides with the monoshock. And it kind of gets the shock out of the way. So I was wondering if I could do the same thing with the Go Powersports kit. Maybe add a monoshock, but at the same time be able to leave my center exhaust. So I picked up this shock, and I'm gonna see if I can make up a mount system or some kind of mounting bracket. So I figured maybe I'll run a mount across the swing arm there and then up, and that way I can remove the shocks off the back and it'll be more like this bike. I mean, because you know, I can't leave well enough alone. I pull this fender off of here. With that fender off, I figure I can run the shock like right in here and run a bracket across there, right underneath the pipe, and then run one down here. So let me pull these shocks off of here. Pull these shock mounts off of here. I have no need for these anymore. All right, so that cleans it up back there pretty good. So I might as well grind these fender mounts off of here. Since I'm not going to be able to use a fender with the monoshock, okay, so got those off of there. Now I'll go ahead and figure out a shock mount to run across here, to weld across here. So I'm gonna run this piece of metal across here and then cut it, probably box it in right here. So anyway, let me cut this. So we got the metal cut. I think I'm gonna mount it underneath. But I'm gonna mount it up farther so I have room for a wheel, or a bigger wheel, because I think the street tires are a little bit taller. Maybe up there somewhere. So I have enough room here. So first, I'm gonna put an axle through here to hold the swing arm up. And I can pull this back wheel off, because right now I got the heights set. If I put this axle through here, it holds the swing arm right where it needs to be. Now I can pull the wheel off of it, and the axle doesn't, or the swing arm doesn't fall down, so it's about the right height. I also pull the brake and the wheel off. I just want to mock everything up with the wheel and the brake on there, just to make sure I get it in the right spot. Alrighty, so I got my metal clamped on here. So now I'm going to take and put a piece back here and box it in. That way it'll give it some strength. I'm going to take these two pieces of metal and just weld them together. Okay, so I got the two pieces welded up. Definitely tell that's a lot stronger, so that'll hold the shock mount without bending. So I have the metal clamped on there. I guess I'll go ahead and tack it up right there. I got it boxed off around the front, so it's super strong. Pop the swing arm off of here real quick. It's easier to weld off the bike. Go ahead and throw some welds here on this swing arm. So got that welded up. While I'm at it, I might as well weld up a shock mount. Got the shock mount welded on there. So now I think I'm gonna put the shock on here. And that way I can measure up where the other mount needs to be, where the top mount needs to go. I think it's gonna come out about right with this length of shock. So if I run a piece of metal across here, let's put her about right there. The shock's going to come out a little bit with the mount. Cut that to fit between the frame rails there. Cut this one at an angle. Just brace that with a piece of angle on top to make it stronger. So let me take this piece and put it behind here for a brace. Weld these two pieces together just to brace that up. Got the top bracket made up. So now I think I can weld it up here in the frame and then weld the shock bracket. So put that up in there like that and then weld the shock mount on there. Something like that. Got the shock mount centered on the bracket, so I'll go ahead and weld that up. So that looks pretty good. I'll go weld the bracket on the frame. So I got the mount up in there, centered. Let me mark this thing. Weld this bracket up here. Got it all welded up on there. The shock lines up. So I'll throw a little bit of paint on there before I put it all together. One of these days I'm gonna have to have all this stuff powder coated once I get all this stuff done. Got the mount painted up. So let me bolt that shock on there now. Got the shock on there, looks pretty good. Does it work good though? That's the question. So anyway, throw that wheel back on there. All right, install this brake. Throw the chain back on here and go test it out. All right, finished her up. I think she looks pretty good. We'll go take her out for a test drive and see how it rides. So the bike rides really well now. It's a little bit softer than it was before, a little bit softer riding than it was before. And what's cool about it, I can still put the double shocks back on if I want. I mean, easily. Just unbolt the monoshock and bolt the other ones back up.